Okay, so I was talking before about the fact that I really feel like the key for us and for me is to come back and see who God is. And then when we see who God is, we can be who we are, which is our identity as sons and daughters. And when we be who we are, when we are who we are, then we live it out in a beautiful way. And that's the only way to affect our community, I think. But we have to start by seeing who God is and to see him as Father. And in order to, so what I'm suggesting is we need to start by seeing him, by having a time of stillness and quietness that works for us somehow, that we discover to be still so that we can see him. And when we see him, the sort of work, the spirit which is in us will flame up, okay? And we will recognise my Father. That's a bit of a crooked smile. and we will recognise our Father, and then we are able to be who we are, you know. And so we say, I'm a son, you know, or I'm a daughter. And for some reason that changes. It's the truth of it in a very special way. And somehow when we can say, I'm a son, I'm a daughter, he's my dad, it means everything. It means he's the one who gives me provision. He's the one who heals me. He's the one who leads me. He's the one who loves me. You know, that's what a father does. That's what the Father does anyway. You know, that's our inheritance. And all earthly fathers are actually, he's not named after us. We're named after him. We're shadows of him. So all the things a good father and mother would do, and all the things that we desire from God and know that we need, are actually found in him, and we in a sense have them already, in a sense. So we see who he is by discovering a way that we can be still or quiet in the day, and that might be different for each of us. And then we be who we are, and we say, I'm a son or I'm a daughter. But for me, I feel like this is a rhythm of the Father's love, because it's not just me and the Father, but the Father's a family. So in there is the Son, and in there is the Spirit. So I'm actually, as an individual, as I do this, discovering the truth of who I am and the truth of who God is, I'm actually lifted up into a family. So the next part of the rhythm is that my wife Poppy's here, and when I, as a husband, see my Father and then receive my identity, then I actually sort of love my wife. And I am able to see my wife as she is. Not just be frustrated because of this, not just think, why does she always do that? But I'm able to somehow see what God has put in her, that she's spontaneous and that she's wonderful with connecting with people, much more than I. And there's so many things I've learned in my life about connecting with others because of Poppy. And that's part of who she is, naturally is. It's her sort of inheritance or destiny, especially. And when I do this, I actually then I join the next part of this process, or this flowing wave that goes from stage to stage by I see my wife. And as I see my wife, I love my wife with the love of the Father. And as I love my wife, she then comes alive. And obviously she also is trying to see the Father. But the point is, it's not just me by myself, and she's loving me. And so what we're beginning to do is we're actually to engage in the rhythm of the Trinity itself as a family now. Not just me and God, but actually this rhythm where I'm seeing the Father, recognizing myself as a son, part of the family. I'm seeing my wife. She's seeing what's best in me. I'm loving her. And we are now creating a home of the Father's love. And then the rhythm doesn't stop there, because then I've got our 3 daughters. Okay? And as my wife and I see who the Father is, and loving each other is part of this, and being set free to recognise the best of who we are and our destiny rather than our history, we love our daughters. And our daughters then experience the love of the Father. And maybe there are ways also as a family, that as a family now we could try to see God by going to the beach, or maybe by having a Bible study. I don't know. But there could be ways that we as a family, in addition to loving with the love of the Father, we can do this. So that's the second step. And now we really are making a home of the Father's love. This is why families are so important. And this is why the enemy attacks families and attacks marriages. Because this is, we say church and all that, But this is why it's so special, because it's the love of the Trinity, of that original family actually coming into the world. This is how the kingdom works. And so the next step is now my children. But then even so, we're creating now a home of the Father's love is what we're doing in my house. And the other day someone came to my house and they said, there's so much peace in this house. And in the past I thought, oh yeah, okay, whatever. But I thought, yes, you're right. I know there is, because I can feel it, like something's happening, you know, because of this. And so then we're creating a home of the Father's love. And home is actually just being with the Father. That's why Australians want to build houses. But they can never get home by building a house, and it will become a burden to them, like living under Adam. They try, and it just becomes a burden, like building the Tower of Babel, because only the Son can come home. You can't build a home in the kingdom. You just come home by seeing the Father. And so the next stage of this rhythm, after me, and then my wife, and then my kids, okay, and so they are also feeling God's love as Father, and being loved by a father and a mother. Then the question is, here is SOMA. So this is people from SOMA. Okay, and so this represents the subset. This is all of SOMA, because I can't do this with all of SOMA, like Tim Adeney said, but these are people from SOMA. So who's going to be in my life group, essentially? Because we see biblically that my home, the home of the Father that we are building as a place where people can experience the Father's love, is not complete actually just here. It's complete with the church. And so my part of that for the moment is, well, who can I be part of in SOMA? And what we're going to do is, they are going to be part of our family. So we are going to, you know, pray together, and we're going to eat together, and we're going to cry together, and we are going to laugh together. We're going to go on mission together. We're just living our life in an overlapping way, just as I do with my kids. And what's going to happen as we do that, including being honest about struggles and all that sort of stuff, what's going to happen is, because of this, we will be able to see the people in our group, or whoever we're going to be able to see them as the Father sees them, and love them as the Father loves them. And that will release in them the same thing. And this is now really creating a home of the Father. And what happens finally in this rhythm, I think, is that you have people here who are on the outside. So there are people here who are on the outside and don't believe in God, yet they, like Adam, they are under Adam, but they have this longing. There is something like a question within them, and they see us from the outside being this home. And they feel like something, they're looking for something. The fact that they're building a mud brick house, the fact that they think, what's my calling in life? You know, the fact that they're passionate about something, all of that is an indication that they're trying to come home, but they don't know how to do it. And the key is that they would actually be able to see the Father. That's what would bring them home. That's what Jesus came to do, to show them the Father. So how does that work? Well, we have created a home of the Father. And so what they do is we invite them into the home of the Father, which might be our house, for a meal together with our life group, or even just me and my family. It might be going to the pub together with different people, but we are creating a home of the Father. And what happens for them, they're not in as good a position as us, because we are actually sons and daughters of God, and we just get this all the time. Obviously it's a process, but that's where we live. Whereas these guys don't do that. But what they can do is they come in, they are somehow experiencing the love of the Father, somehow. Maybe because one of us plays music and it's awesome, or somebody does something else, or the way we cook a meal, or the way we treat our kids. But they are coming into the home of the Father, and they are experiencing something they get nowhere else in the world, and it is the love of the Father. And they feel for a moment that they're home, which is what it means to know the Father, even before they're being Christian. And so they then begin to feel something. And so then our rhythm needs to continue, that as we do this, then I need to go back to the Father, to rest and receive, not to then end up getting caught in trying to doing and all of this and trying, but to kind of come back to resting and receiving from seeing the Father. Is that right?